Hey, what's up, guys? This video is about to be explaining why I stopped making videos again. Like after I just put out a video of me coming back, and then I stopped for another month, I think it was. And it was sort of the reason. Well, at the time it wasn't. I mean, it had happened right, like literally a couple days after I made that last video. Just to jump right in, my mom passed away, and it was pretty rough. I mean, you could imagine, right? My mom. And yeah, it was just difficult. I feel like I handled it better than I ever imagined I would have, because I never pictured how I'd handle losing my mom. I never wanted to think about it, but I just felt as though the relationship I made with God kind of helped me get through it a lot better than me not knowing God would have gotten through it. So anyways, the video is going to be about just talking about my mom, who she was and stuff. And I always like to start off by just saying, like, how kind-hearted she was. Like, she taught me so many key elements in why I am who I am today. And one of the big ones was just always be kind to everyone, no matter what walk of life they're on. Like, whoever you see on the street, no matter if they're rich, poor, if they're black, white, whatever it may be, like whatever differences there may be, you treat everyone the same. You treat everyone equal, and you treat them kindly. And that was always a big one. And she would always like give to the less fortunate. Like, you know what I mean? She would set that example. Like, she wouldn't just tell me these things, because some people do that. Some people will tell you things. I've had that in my life where they say, like, it's almost like a do as I say, not as I do type thing. So I don't learn good from that. I don't pick up on that, because I like to see by example more. And she was perfect example of that, is leading by example, just giving to the less fortunate. Even when she was considered less fortunate herself, like when she had close to nothing, she always made sure everyone else had before she took care of her own needs. And I always admired that. I loved that about her so much. But she still had her human sides. She was a great mom. Like, she took such well care of me. And at a point in her life, I was deciding on whether or not to bring this up, but it is her story and I want to tell it. And well, she got into drugs, and I mean, obviously I was a kid, so when it started happening, I didn't know like the details. I still don't. I chose not to like be cognizant of the details, but I didn't know if she was using drugs. And it took a big toll on her life. It changed her, a lot of it physically for the worst. Took an impact on her mind and stuff, but it never broke her spirit. That's the one thing I'll say, is it never broke who she truly was inside. No matter how far off she seemed away, like how far she fell away, or how deep in the hole she was, she never got her spirit broken. And I still admire that as well. I mean, me and her were really close. We had split up when I was about 10 or 11, because this was around the period she was getting worse on her drug habits, drug usage, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to go back with my grandparents, because me and her lived with my grandparents basically my whole life. And then I lived with her in Phoenix for a little bit, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the atmosphere. I didn't like the difference. Like, everything was just changing and stuff. And I just wanted to go back home. And I mean, it wasn't ever my choice, because I belonged to my mom, but she made the choice to let me go back home. And she would always say she regretted it at times, and I always tried to like make her like not feel bad about that, because if anything, I abandoned her. Like, I ran away from her, got away from that situation, and she always felt like she left me or something. And I never wanted her to feel like that. And I even felt bad, like, that I kind of did that to her. I'm like, maybe I could have saved her, maybe I could have saved her. But I believe in God, and everything happens for a reason. And that's what I just choose to tell myself, is that moment in time happened for a reason. But still, regardless of us being split up at that young age, like, I always stayed close to her. I always loved her. I always cared about her. I'd get mad when I'd hear like these stories about her. I'd get sad, like I would hurt, like I'd break down in tears just about all the different instances she was going through. And it like broke my heart up like bad. Like, me and my mom were very, very close, and we had like heart-to-heart talks, and she would tell me about her childhood. So she told it to me through her eyes, through her version of how it was. And it always hurt me, because she got picked on a lot. Like, she would get made fun of, and she had like a low self-esteem, and she had this like need for like acceptance from others, like approval from others and stuff. And you know what I mean? And it just showed me the power of words. Like, that's a big reason of why like I do this, why when I talk, I try my best to just say positive things to uplift people. And anytime I have a conversation, is that because of her story, because it hurts me that my mom got hurt like that, and I wanted to save her. And I mean, there was only so much I could do, but I wish like I could have done more. I don't know what else I could have done, but I just wish I could have done more. she was a beautiful woman, but thought she was so ugly, and lived her life believing that, and depressed and sad about like things about like just not accepting herself in her own skin. And I think those are big keys into why she had the life she had. In that regard, me and her have a lot of similarities though. I mean, maybe I dealt with them a little bit better, or I'm trying to deal with them better, but I had this need for self-approval too. And I thought it was funny because I went to church today. Today's Sunday, and I went to church today, and the message was crazy. It was just revolved all around that. The pastor, Pastor Zach, was talking about like he was overweight, like similar to me. Like, I'm not saying like I was crazy overweight, but that's how I felt, and that's what his story was. He was overweight, got picked on, wanted approval from others, and just told his whole story of like how he had to like how he got through those trials, even like going through like losing weight and getting the body he thought he wanted, but still not feeling acceptant of himself. And that's where I find myself sometimes, is like I think like I'm gonna feel a lot better about myself if I get abs, or if I look like this like muscular dude that I want to look like, and then all my problems will be solved. But that's not the case. It's not until you make a relationship with God that things can fall in line. At least like that's what I believe in, you know. Like, I'm not saying like that's the only way, but I'm saying to me that is the only way, honestly. To people who know me and stuff, like, I'm telling you, that is the only way, is to have a good relationship with God. And I'm not saying a perfect relationship where like I have something more special than you do, just your own personal relationship with him, just to even like acknowledge him, you know. And I just believe it's so important, because God literally is the reason I got through this. Granted, like, don't get me wrong, like, I miss my mom a lot, like I cry for her, I mourn, like there's no helping that, but I definitely didn't deal with it in a negative way. Like, I dealt with it in the most positive way I feel I could have. And it surprised me, like, I'm not kidding, like when I heard the news and when everything was happening, like as I was like reflecting on my own feelings that I was having, I was like shocked that like I never pictured I'd be this calm, or like this positive and like optimistic about a situation like this when I lost my mom. Like, I thought I'd turn my back on God if something like that happened. Like, why'd you take my mom? And that was something that amazed me, was that I've gotten such a good bond with God that wasn't even that never crossed my mind. If anything, I got even closer to him, asked him for more help, and just helped me make sense of things. I know it sounds crazy and stuff, or maybe it doesn't to you, but for some it does. But it's just amazing what he does. So even like my big things were, when it happened, was, dang, I'm not gonna get to save her, because I would always talk about that with her. Like, well, not always, but you know what I mean? Like, on occasion I'd tell her about that, like when things would be going bad and stuff, and I'd try to comfort her and stuff. And like, I meant this, I wasn't just saying it to comfort her. I really, like, this was the plan, was I was gonna save her. I was gonna like do something big, like whatever it may be, like to be able to support her financially, to be able to take care of her and like get her away from the situation she was in. And like when I made this YouTube channel and stuff, and like I started getting into these crazy workouts, like the calisthenics and everything, that was fueled by my mom. Like, that whole like crazy time period before I fell off, before I made that video about falling off, like what fueled me to go that insane is everything I was doing was my mom, like wanting to do something for my mom to help her. And anyway, so there was that. So I was like, I don't get to save her. Like, I wanted to save her, I wanted to take care of her. But then just having the relationship with God that I do, it was like I was at peace with it, because I realized, who would take better care of her than God? I can never take as good care of her as God can. So I was at peace with that. Then it was crazy. So like a week or two before she passed, I had this amazing conversation with her. She was like, just got out of a psychiatric ward, and I don't want to get too much into her story, but yeah, she was sober-minded. And I got to talk to her. Like, when I first heard her voice, I was instantly comforted, because it was my mom again. It sounded like her exactly. And we had like a 3-4 hour conversation for 2 days in a row and stuff, and just talked about everything, like things I never talked about her with. That it was insane that I didn't know it at the time, but I was literally making my peace with my mom. I didn't know it, you know, but I had an amazing conversation with her. Like, talked about everything, like about me growing up, how it was raising me, everything, like anything and everything you could think of that I wanted to talk with my mom. And same with her, like went at peace with her, talking about like our differences in the past and everything. Like, we put it to peace. And so I was thankful for that my last conversation with my mom got to be that. I was like grateful to God for that. I was like, wow, like, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be at peace with her in that way. And just me viewing it now, she's at peace, you know what I mean? She's in heaven, and now her strength, like, God can give me some of her strength, like her feel, like her memory of who she was and who she could have been, like, because of the person I know she was, is gonna feel me to be the person I'm gonna be. Like, I'm gonna do things, and like in God's name, obviously, but like with my mom motivating me, with my mom as my backbone, you know what I mean? Like as a crutch as well. Just when things get tough and stuff, I can remember for her. And anytime, like for example, like giving like to the less fortunate, like that was something I picked up from her. Like, and I don't like advertise that, like I don't even like to mention it, but like I do that just because like she taught me that, and I like to do that. It makes me feel better as a person, but just knowing I'm helping someone else out, regardless of what they're gonna do with the money, just helping someone else who doesn't have. And anyway, so yeah, this video is kind of running long, sorry. I had to get it all out. And with that being said, this video, like the plan was I wanted to make a video for my mom because her birthday is going to be on the 17th, which is coming up. And I was like, well, I want to do like this crazy stuff, like everything that I want to do that's great in a day on her birthday. But then it's like, well, if I do that and I get all the footage, there's no way I could get everything and upload it on the same day. And I want to make her like a tribute video. So I came with the idea of making this, and I'm going to post this on her birthday, letting you guys know the info. And then the video of like what I'm doing for her actual birthday, like that day, I'll post it like the next day or two, you know what I mean? And anyway, so the way it's gonna go is like I wanted to do like just a couple things in remembrance of her. So I want to make like a little shrine for her in my room. Like I have like a couple pictures and things like that. I want to make up a little setup on my wall or whatever, just to help me out. I also want to make my dinner, my meal, be spaghetti ramen noodles, which is just ramen noodles without putting the spice on there, and you put tomato sauce and salt instead. And she used to make that, and we all grew to love it, like me and my siblings and my cousins and everybody. Like, we loved that, and that was her like signature meal. And I know it's not like something outstanding, but it is outstanding to me. I love that meal, and so I'm gonna eat that. Listen to her songs, like her favorite songs. These might have been her favorite songs back in the day before I was born, but when I was around, when I was with her and stuff, these are the songs that like she would listen to and that I knew that remind me of her. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna watch one of her favorite movies, like the old, like I think it's like 80s time period, 80s 90s movies, because she loved those, and I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna do a leg workout in honor of her, because she used to do these leg workouts in the living room, I remember, with like little weights and stuff, just like it would just be funny. Like I would laugh at her because like I didn't get it, you know what I mean? But it would just look funny to me. But I'm gonna do a leg workout in tribute to her, and also like a cardio type thing, like probably running on the bike, because that would be her other form of exercise when she would exercise. And then the last one is give to the less fortunate, and I'm gonna put it on video. And like I said, normally I don't like to advertise it like that. I feel like that's like, oh, like he's just doing it for attention. No, like I do that because I want to, but I'm gonna do this in the video like because I want the attention, because I want it to be known, like this is like in remembrance of my mom. This is something she would do. And yeah, so also with that being said, this whole video is like I'm not saying people are like that, because I feel like for the most part people are like pretty genuine, actually, like more so than you'd believe. Like you meet a lot of people that it makes you think like, oh, the world's not so bad. But for those that maybe question like, oh, you're just doing this for attention, like that's so messed up, like you're using your mom's death as like attention to try and get more views or try and get like attention on social media, is like, yes, I am doing that, you're right, I'm trying to get attention, but not for those intentions of for my own popularity. It's for my mom. Like I feel God gave me a voice. Like that's what I feel I was put here to do. The more I go through my days, is I want to use my voice. I talk a lot, and I have some work on maybe shortening my talks and also not saying a lot or whatever, but for the most part I feel like my voice is the gift God gave me, and I want to use that gift, and I want to use it to get attention to my mom, because I never want to forget her. I don't want her to be forgotten. I'm going to be here to tell her story, to always be remembered, and to give praise to her for who she was deep down, no matter all the mistakes she made, who she was deep down. And for just like the biggest thank you of mom, like you're my mom, you brought me into this world, and like I know you're proud of me, I know she's proud of me. Like even before she was gone, she was proud of me, but I want to continue to make her proud. I don't know if I should say happy birthday, mom, just in case. Happy birthday, mom, I love you. And yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for her birthday tribute video as well.